Well, we have some stuff to talk about today, so I want to go ahead and get started. Rao, are you here?
Yeah, I am.
Are you ready to give the tech update?
Yes, I am. Welcome to Community Update 168. I think everybody should be able to see my screen now. So in terms of the releases, on the mainnet, there have not been any changes with the releases. We've been running the block merge version 0.11.0 alpha 2 for a few days on the testnet 2. And we are getting ready to create the next version of block merge 0.11.0. This is the version that is targeted to the mainnet. The last few PRs are being reviewed for this version, and there's merging of the branches that's being done. So once that is done, we'll have the 0.11.0 on the testnet, and then test it there for a little bit and then move it on to the mainnet. That's the plan with that. Now, separately on testnet 2, we actually will start with the alpha 2 version that's on the main testnet right now, but then that will also get upgraded to 0.11.0 for testing. The difference is that going forward on testnet 2, we will be including changes that require a hard fork, whereas on the testnet 1, any changes that we include will be only the ones that can go onto the mainnet before the hard forks. So that would be the difference. To remind people about what we said several times in the last few weeks, the full block merge performance will not be seen until we have the hard fork changes in. But the testnet 2 will give you an environment where you can get a peek at them even as we complete all the changes needed for the hard forks for block merge on there. So that's the idea, that testnet 2 should allow us to both test and get some performance numbers, and those will improve over time as we get through more of the changes. But on the mainnet, there is no, we're only getting in things that do not require the data changes, with the idea being that we really do want to test the code base relative to how people are currently using the mainnet, make sure, meaning identify and correct any bugs. On the testnet 1 mainly, and of course, if we see any issues once it's in production on the mainnet, we'll resolve that. But we expect to catch most of them while it's still on the testnet 1, because we have been running a couple of versions of the block merge on testnet already for several weeks now. So that's the main status of what's going on with block merge. There are still several improvements we're working on for the block merge, especially the getting with the hard fork version and the 0.67 synchrony constraint. So that work is continuing, and we have the other piece of work that's been, other stream of work that's been going on is Will has been preparing for the first hard fork with the balances only, carrying the balances only, but not the state of the current blockchain. So he's got most of the pieces ready for that. He's doing a test run or conversion. It's been taking a while, so we're going to try and see if we can give it more resources, CPU and memory, to see if we can accelerate that. That's one of the things he's doing. And then we will soon have the balances report that the community can begin to look at. So that's the other stream of work that's going on. And another thing I want to mention is that as the community is using it more, and then we have a couple of people that are interested in looking at the code either from an FPGA perspective or in general. So, for example, there's a community member that's writing a Rust implementation of Rolang, or the Rolang interpreter. So all these efforts, as people engage with the code base more, they are pointing out either usability issues or looking at, in a way, we're getting a little bit more of an audit, if you would, of the code. The team is really happy about that. I'm thrilled about that, the fact that people are engaging with the code base and making suggestions and asking questions. That some of those are issues that we are deliberating upon, and will be resolved through either the regular development process or through the tech governance process as may be appropriate. So, but I really appreciate all the feedback we're getting from the community and the higher engagement with the code base. This is how we improve the code. So we're very excited about that. So that's the other thing. So there will be tasks added coming off of that feedback and the effort. So I think that's the other work that's going on. And testnet 2 right now is not ready yet, but Gurinder is beginning to or trying to get that going. Hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll have that up and available for folks to run their existing contracts on there, maybe point out anything that they see or that's unusual for them. So it should be here soon. So that's where we are with that. I think those are the main points about the core development update that I wanted to make. Are there any questions on anything that I said so far or on the core development work? Any questions, comments from anyone? Okay, so Greg, I'll give it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Daryl, did you want to give this week's in review?
Okay, so here's the week in review for April 15th to April 21st. Last Thursday in the governance committee, we discussed how to improve member engagement in working groups and communities. Also on last Thursday at the DApp developer working group, RGov group support started. Last Friday at the Climate Coordination RCast, we discussed new whale deaths in San Francisco Bay, Serbian climate protests, and the increasing attention around the climate change harm caused by NFTs due to Ethereum's proof of work blockchain. On Saturday at the RChat call, more RGov demo preparation. On Monday at the Casper stand-up, this week's Casper stand-up was a catch-up, giving attendees a chance to ask questions about the work covered so far. We did summarize the state of the art for MPC in the head ZKP techniques and their relationship to matrix operations. We also answered Tomislav's question about computational complexity and the physics. Essentially, complexity locates computation in a range of possible physics. Also on Monday, the RDev member co-op planning Ideathon rewards discussion. Yesterday in the RChain education call, the developed WANA list called for help Rolang contract, demo of WANA Rev account creation. Also yesterday in the communications working group, we discussed the status of the PR videos, the Climate Chain Coalition follow-up, the Earth Day video that will be released tomorrow. I presented a potential play around RChain as the climate change solution for NFTs. And Steve Henley presented a GitHub-based Kanban project management solution for all the balls that we're juggling. Also, yesterday in the DApp developer working group, they started serving the group support branch of RGov off rgov.robot.net. And today in the RChain active member hangout, Raphael has been optimizing the RChain token, so it's quite scalable, and he did some demonstrations of that. It's quite exciting. And the RGov crew went over their demo for today. And a update from China via Shusi. Greg and Tomislav will be participating in the 22nd AMA at a KOL WeChat group in China. And that is it. It's been an active week.
It has been, absolutely. Yes, I want to tout the video. I think it's very good, for the kind of low budget effort that it was intended to be. Just asking everyone the question, what would the Earth say if the Earth could speak? Or another way of saying it is, if the Earth could speak, what would she say? So we got many submissions, and Daryl stitched them together, and we added a little piano improv from a pianist I know, and I think it plays pretty well. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and so I think it's a good offering for Earth Day.
Nice. Yeah, we'll be sending it out tomorrow.
Excellent.
Yeah, hopefully lots more people will also make videos in response to ours. So hopefully there will be a pattern there.
Yes, I think that would be great. That would be great. It looks like we do have Jim on board. Jim, are you able to give us a demo?
Sure. Well, actually, the team will be picking it up. We'll be starting with Dan. This is the first stage of our egalitarian, decentralized governance capability on RChain. Take it away, Dan.
Yes, you recall we developed this voting application for the last annual meeting, and that was fine for direct democracy. And then there's other ways of doing things. There's representative democracy, which if you're in the US, you're familiar with, and then there's an idea of liquid democracy, which you'll get a demonstration today. So this project here is about governance capabilities to support collective intelligence. Today, we're going to demonstrate the contracts in a sort of development environment. The user interface sort of work is still on the to-do list largely. And this is a follow-up from the April 2020 ideation workshop. So the rewards from that are our development budget now. So we do plan to reward contributors. So this is a call for action, come and join the fun. So the contracts are based around this inbox for storing and sharing object capabilities. And so Tom, show us how we start.
Okay, so basically we have, this is running on the robot network under demo. And basically as with anything in RChain, we need to make sure that we have Rev to do anything. So we have an option here to be able to check our balance. And I say I have plenty of Rev. So now we need to start. Now, one of the things this is all centered around is our inbox. So I will now create my inbox. And deploy that. When we get this inbox, I'll have to grab the URI for it and cut and paste it. One of the things we have coming will be ways of identifying with nicknames so that you don't have to do this cumbersome cut and paste to make it more of a usable human interface, which is something we all, at least all the eyes people, we all have a lot of experience, a lot of passion for is actual user human interfaces. And we have various issues we're working on that, as I said, development time is all it takes for some of these things. And so we are looking for people who want to help pitch in. So here's my inbox. And now I can then create an issue or to vote on. Okay, so now create inbox. And then
wait.
Yeah, wait is right.
You want to talk about where we're going to do for lunch, right?
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, that's right, create the inbox, yes. So we'll make a new issue. What we're going to do is we're going to be voting on what to have for lunch. So I'm going to call this lunch. And proposals we've had on the table is pizza, tacos, and salad. And make sure everything updated correctly. Okay, I can now deploy this. This will actually create the issue we're going to vote on. And one of the things that this only gives us one issue to vote on. One of the things that we're going to be working on next will be changing it to be an actual ballot. They're going to have multiple issues, like which we're usually used to for regular voting. And once I get this issue created, I can then add people to it. Okay, it got created. And now I can add a voter to the issue. And this is where I need to paste in my URI because I am not automatically added to it. And the issue we are using is lunch, spell it right. And lunch, and then deploy that. And then
in the current search, you are actually automatically added. We didn't get this updated in time.
yeah. And I also need to add Jim's the other players. So basically I'm gonna add Jim inbox, which I'm assuming was updated in the script. Okay, good. So I was given the right to vote, and now I'll do the same for Jim.
So we're seeing this Ethereum icon all the time because we're going through MetaMask. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, you can see on the to-do list at the bottom, sort of an insert 25 cents to play account rather than signing each move.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is complete, and there we go. And now, Jim, why don't you show them how to vote?
Okay, so I guess I was going to do a peek inbox here to see what was in my see what capabilities are waiting for me. And I should move the script over here so I can see it. We can see in my inbox here that I have an issue lunch and I have a voter capability. Now the issue lunch allows me to do things like tally votes, but to vote, I need a vote capability. And I have one of those for the issue lunch. So I can choose here, cast vote, and I can choose lunch, and I chose pizza. Is that what I choose, pizza? Yep.
But why did it bring up green and red as opposed to taco and something else? Salmon?
That was just my browser remembering my choices for a color.
Okay.
But that is something that a human interface would have, is present you with a list.
Yeah. So so I later for a ballot, everyone would be given the right to vote in the ballot, and for an organization, you make everyone in an organization or a group to vote on a ballot. So here's my current vote is pizza. Okay, and if I now do a tally votes, I'll see how people voted.
Jim, I think you need to put lunch in there.
Whoops, that's true. If I got an answer back, no output from to deploy ID, then I know I probably left out one of the arguments. Okay. And at this point, I'm the only one who voted so far. One vote for pizza. Tom will show you how we delegate votes.
Okay, I think the one point that is worth pointing out is that the delegation of a vote is probably the biggest thing that makes it a liquid democracy, because it's fluid where your vote comes from. So first thing I need to do is I have added Dan to the issue so he can vote. And now I want to delegate my vote to Dan. So for lunch and to Dan, basically, saying that I don't have a strong opinion, so I want to let Dan vote. I want to go whichever way Dan goes right now. So let me deploy this. And now, one thing you haven't mentioned so far is that you see Jim made his vote. Well, he can actually change his vote later if he wants, as well. So you have it's flexibility, because you can vote once and then realize that, wait a minute, I learned some more things. I changed my mind. You can change your mind based on what you've learned.
Can you tally votes before voting is closed?
Currently, yes.
Right, because that would then result in potentially people putting a vote in, seeing what other people do, and then changing their minds.
Right. So that's there's different ways to organize the contract. Currently, it's that way.
Right. So I mean, it could be the way the vote is designed, and you set it up that way, one way or the other. Okay. So now I have delegated my vote to Dan, and now Dan can show him voting. We'll take it from there.
Yeah, if you look at the code for the add person to vote, you can give them the ability to tally or not. Okay, we're explicitly giving them the right to tally the vote. Okay, we do allow the change vote here. We could disable that for certain things, but this is more about making decisions than it is about during the process of learning about an issue, people will change their mind, and that's okay. And they can discuss it and come up with the best solution or better solution.
But from what you're saying, the capability is there to be able to hide the tally,
right,
until a particular time, which is more in line with the way that we often vote in elections.
Right. In a formal election. But
so you can basically do, I mean, what you're showing here is that you can do a range of things, including that one.
Right.
Right.
You can actually do so much more.
So I voted for tacos. And so let's see where we're at here.
I think you missed putting lunch in.
Oops.
Yeah.
Me. Tally, deploy. Resign. Yeah, and the reason I have to deploy as opposed to just doing exploratory is that the capability to tally is, I have to sign it to demonstrate that I'm me in order to get access to that capability. That's not just sitting out there where anybody can get it.
And private deployer ID keeps your private data locker that only you can access.
Nice.
What happened? What's wrong?
Yeah, it's wrong. Darn it. Because it's supposed to show that since Dan voted for tacos, that there would be 2 votes to tacos, his vote and my delegated vote.
That's crazy.
Carry on.
So, you know, it's like this works every time except when we have a demo.
Yeah. Hey, maybe should
Demo
I?
stands for demolition, dude.
Let me redelegate and make sure that I'm delegated because it should still.
Go ahead.
Because I don't see a typo on the.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there. Oh, it even said it. Darn it! It was. It actually had it. It did say it did delegate it, so that wasn't the problem.
So did it delegate to Dan or to Jim? Because you were copying an address there. I'm not sure. Did you?
Well, let me check. You're right. Good. MUC. Let me take a look. Let me see which inbox I use. No, that is Dan's. Dan, you did update your the script document, right? Today?
Yeah, my inbox ends in N.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's still there. And then I go to tally. Oops.
As much as the adrenaline of live demos can overtake you, my advice would be record it first.
Yeah.
Right? I've been in so many demos where I end up saying exactly what you guys say. This worked half an hour ago, honest. And so, you know, it's like never work with children and dogs or animals. If you get the chance, video, because actually the asset of the video in and of itself is incredibly valuable to all the rest of the community.
Yeah,
That's
we have
true.
a couple videos of it working.
Yeah, we did a dry rehearsal of it all, videoing it. There's lots of commentary. So, so anyway, let's give me back the screen so we'll finish up. And there we go. Portion of screen share.
I do believe we made a recording of Saturday's dress rehearsal, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
All right, so I guess for the sake of argument, let's say that this says 2 tacos. I'm sad, but I could then go in and cast my vote on lunch and say pizza. And then deploy that.
So you're sure you didn't have a space after the URI when you entered it? I don't think
Yeah, because it did reply saying it did find it. It was delegated to me, so.
I think it, yeah.
Oh, that shows that you hadn't voted before. Oh, but that
I didn't.
Shouldn't have mattered. Never mind.
Yeah. And now let's do the tally.
Drum roll.
Whoa.
You don't get to vote.
I guess not. That's interesting. Well, I'm going to say we fat fingered something in the user interface is what happened.
Gentlemen, I do believe the problem that we may be experiencing is that Tom added himself to the vote when he was already there.
Yeah.
That's never been.
Oh,
So
Well,
when
I mean,
you
it's-
so when you create an issue, you automatically get the right to vote and the right to tally. And when you add yourself again, that I think is making a mistake in the inbox,
oh,
changing things.
I'm going to claim that this is actually mass voter fraud. And I shall be. I'm looking forward to my interview on Fox News coming up soon.
All right. So we owe you a video of it working.
Release the Kraken.
well, hopefully, I mean, hopefully what we've shown you that has worked, at least is showing you the flexibility we've got coming and the direction we're going in, because there is a lot of advances that have been made.
Oh yes, there's no question. It's actually very, very exciting. And you answered questions I was going to ask, which is, I mean, really, in order to be liquid, you're going to have to provide some kind of delegation mechanism, and so you're beginning to talk about that. I mean, there's all kinds of things to discuss. Once the software is working perfectly, then we still have lots and lots of things to discuss. But this is great. This is very exciting stuff.
If the community wishes, the demo can be performed again with a new issue.
We owe them a recording of it working.
Well,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
anyone can see it, even if they're not in the meeting, so that works better too.
But,
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is, we're going to have to beat it to death, before we can start using it for real live issues, right?
Sure.
So,
And the goal is to get all that done by October, right, guys?
it would be great if we had that if we had that capability by October. That'd be wonderful.
And I've got a kind of target that I'd like, other than the obvious October target, but commensurate with the same date. And I would really, really like to be able to explain the different forms of democracy that you had in the in some of the material that you showed earlier on, packaged up with a demo. Because I'd really like to share that with Audrey Tang in Taiwan. If there is one person on the planet that understands the potential game changer between representative to liquid to direct, it would be Audrey Tang.
Is there a time frame for that, or is that just whenever you?
No, it's when you guys are ready. So
okay.
if you guys are targeting, that's why I say commensurate with the same date. So if you guys are kind of getting there, I mean, just keep. I mean, I'm more full time now. Well, I'm kind of full time on RChain now. So I will have my eye on this much more than I had before, because that's what I do. So I'll be pinging you guys, let alone anything else. But in my head, just to declare it now, that's the person I want Audrey to see this demo working smoothly.
Right.
But I want her also to understand why we've dealt with all three of these cases.
Oh, right. Yes.
Right. So the direct, liquid, and representative, how that works. And because that's what Audrey's interested in, the transformation from representative through to direct, but incorporating liquid, because liquid democracy, in the context of a government department trying to understand its own way, just a government department, would be incredibly powerful.
Yes, but there are security issues, like real human security issues, right? Once you have the liquid capability, you have to worry, about a knock at the door. We really think you want to vote in a particular way, right? Be a shame if anything happened to your kids, right? So that's the kind of thing that you really invite as soon as you offer any sort of delegation. And so you have to. There are ways to deal with that, but
Yeah, and I think that's why delegation in the context of a government department or an enterprise.
Yeah.
You know, in the same way that, you know, sometimes if I don't make it to a board meeting, I'll say, hey, you know, I mean, I've done it to Steve Henley and I've done it to you, Greg. I've said to either of you, you have my vote.
Yes. Yes. Proxying votes it can be a good thing and an effective thing. It can also, if it's not done very carefully, it can be an invitation to gangsterism.
Absolutely. But the beauty here is it's the same platform for all of it.
Yes.
And it's just a configuration. And that, I think, is what people like Audrey Tang will find very attractive.
Indeed. Indeed. In point of fact, one of the things that I want to talk about when we release the Earth Day video is in fact wrapping up that on a web page that talks about that begins to talk about how all of these technological things that we're doing relate to climate change and the consequences. And so, you know, in my mind, there are some steps. Step 0, build a scalable blockchain that's environmentally responsible. Step 1 is to demonstrate the kind of local and global governance that's enabled once you have on-chain governance applications, right? So like RVote and RGov. And then step 2 is to demonstrate the impact of self-sovereign identity and self-sovereign on-chain data, and show in particular what this means for the billions of climate change refugees that there will be in the upcoming decades. Not millions, but billions. And then demonstrate the power of a reconfigurable smart grid that's connected to the blockchain. So that's step 3. And then step 4 is, you know, let humanity show us how it's done, right? We're only just, you know, beginning to play with these kinds of technologies, but as William Gibson says, the street finds its own uses for things. So what we want is for the younger generation, the folks who grow up with a blockchain of this kind, to show us what it's like, you know, having always lived with it and you know, have it a part of your everyday mental toolkit. So that's and once we get to a culture that kind of thinks that way, we'll see uses of the blockchain that we just never even thought of. And that's the part that I'm very excited about. All right, let's see. Are there any other issues we want to cover in today's session? Good. Good. Please, everyone, stay safe, and I will see you all on the other side.
Happy Earth Day tomorrow.
Happy Earth Day tomorrow.
Absolutely happy Earth Day tomorrow.